Welcome to Happy Reads, Happy Life. In just 7 minutes, you can plant the seeds for what your next 50 years will look like. Think about that for a moment. 50 years from now, what kind of life will you be living? Will you look back and feel proud of the choices you made today? In this video, we'll unpack the powerful message from Matthew McConaughey's motivational speech, a message that can change the way you view the present and shape the next 50 years of your life. Most of us, myself included, get caught up in the daily grind, work, obligations, social media, entertainment. We're constantly distracted by what's right in front of us. But how often do we stop and think about the long-term consequences of our actions? In a world full of instant gratification, how do we prioritize today's actions to ensure they align with what we want for the next 50 years? That's where the wisdom of Matthew McConaughey comes in. His message isn't just about chasing success. It's about redefining what success means, focusing on what truly matters, and making choices today that your future self will thank you for. So let's break down the key lessons from his speech and see how we can apply them to make sure your next 50 years are as fulfilling as possible. The advice McConaughey shares isn't just for the rich and famous, it's for all of us. Whether you're a student, a parent, an entrepreneur, or someone trying to figure out your purpose in life, the principles for the next 50 years apply to you. These lessons can help anyone who's looking to create a life of meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. So, let's start with the first big takeaway: defining success for yourself. Many of us, myself included, fall into the trap of letting society or other people define success for us. We think success means making more money, buying bigger houses, driving nicer cars, or having a high-status job. And while there's nothing wrong with those things, McConaughey reminds us that success is deeply personal. It's up to each of us to define what success means, not just for today, but for the next 50 years. Maybe success for you means having a healthy family, a thriving marriage, or the ability to help others. Or perhaps it's leaving a legacy or making the world a better place than when you found it. Whatever your definition of success is, keep revisiting that question. McConaughey tells us it's okay for the answer to evolve over time, but one thing's for sure: don't pursue anything that will jeopardize your soul. This leads us to his next big lesson: eliminating the distractions that don't serve you. We all have those people, habits, or places in our lives that drain us. You know the ones. The friends who gossip and don't support your goals. The bad habits like overeating, procrastinating, or spending hours scrolling through social media. Or even the environments that pull you down instead of lifting you up, like that bar you always regret going to, or the activities that leave you feeling exhausted and empty. McConaughey's message here is clear. Stop giving your time, energy, and attention to things that don't serve your growth. When you cut out the toxic elements in your life, you make space for the positive ones to take root. This process of elimination is powerful because it simplifies your life, leaving you with only what's essential for your long-term happiness and success. He puts it bluntly: where you are not is just as important as where you are. Knowing who you are not is the first step to figuring out who you are. So ask yourself, what people, places, or habits are keeping you from becoming the best version of yourself over the next 50 years? Once you identify them, take the hard but necessary step of letting them go. The next lesson is about self-reflection and taking ownership of your future. McConaughey says that the first step toward finding out who we are isn't "I know who I am." It's "I know who I am not." Think about that for a second. How often do we try to force ourselves into boxes that don't fit us just because we think it's what we should be doing? It's liberating when you begin the process of elimination, when you stop doing the things that don't feel authentic to you and instead focus on what truly lights you up. This is where the concept of next 50 years really takes shape. It's about long-term vision. Who do you want to be in the future, and what steps are you taking today to get there? Are the things you're doing today bringing you closer to your long-term goals, or are they distractions pulling you further away? When you remove the excess, the wasted time, the unnecessary options, you're left with what really matters. You're left with a clearer path to your future. Over time, by focusing on what's truly important, you'll find yourself in a position to build habits and routines that feed your success. And here's the best part. Once you start making progress, it gets easier. As McConaughey says, when we get better at something, we have more of it to be thankful for. So, what will your next 50 years look like? What distractions are you ready to eliminate so that you can focus on what really matters? The choices you make today are the building blocks for the next 50 years of your life. Whether it's the people you surround yourself with, the habits you cultivate, or the way you define success, every decision shapes your future. I encourage you to reflect on your own life and ask yourself, what's my version of success? What toxic elements do I need to remove? These are the questions that will lead you to a more fulfilling life. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Happy Reads, Happy Life. We'll continue exploring ways to improve our lives one step at a time, starting today. Remember, the next 50 years don't happen by accident. They are crafted by the choices you make right now. Let's make sure they count.